we have our first call of the evening. I think Tommy's on the line. Tommy, what's your question?
Okay, wait. If you have lost your parental rights, what do you have to do to go back in front of the court to petition the court?
And I guess I would want clarification. When you say lost parental rights, has a court already determined that you don't have any more rights for a child?
Yes, sir. And I was wondering what do I have to do, because I got everything in line to try to go back to establish the parental rights back from the courts.
That is a great question for our family law attorney, Erin. So I'll let Erin handle that one.
Tommy, I would definitely recommend that you consult with an attorney as soon as possible, just to make sure that we're understanding you correctly and that the attorney can go through with you. If you have ultimately had your rights terminated, then that's very hard to have to come back and do. And sometimes it's almost impossible if we're beyond the appellate or the appeal process or the deadline for that. So I would definitely consult with an attorney as soon as possible. If it's something where maybe not your full termination of parental rights, but a timeshare that has been limited, then perhaps you would have that ability to go back and have that modified. So there is going to be that difference, and I do think that just go and consult with an attorney and they'll be able to help guide you in the right direction.
And Erin, in that situation, are you able to pull the court's order and figure out what the prior court did to see if there's a change in circumstances where someone can have their rights back?
So there are different levels of protection as far as our case law, our open cases. So a traditional family law case, divorce, child custody, child support, those are typically going to be public record and something that the attorney wouldn't have a hard time pulling in order to handle that consultation. If it's done through the Department of Children and Families, if it is an actual a termination of those parental rights, that's going to be harder because those orders are typically protected and you do have to have special authorization in order to request those. But a parent typically will have those, so Tommy just needs to make sure he brings his paperwork with him to that consultation.
And as always, we say consult with an attorney if you have a legal issue. We've had clients, they meet with us or they have met with other firms, and so sometimes you just have to meet the right lawyer who may or may not be able to take your case. I know sometimes we have clients that we are not able to benefit them, and then sometimes they find another lawyer who can. So especially when your rights to seeing your kids are at stake, I would definitely consult with an attorney. And if one isn't able to help you, I would probably get a second opinion.
Definitely, because I mean, lawyers are just different. The brains work differently. Someone might tackle an issue one way, and then another attorney might another. So if, I agree. If it's something that important, definitely go ahead and consult with a second opinion.
Erin, what are some other common issues you see when people come in? The most common thing I can think of is two people want to file a divorce. Is a lawyer always necessary in that situation?
It's not always necessary, but it's definitely very overwhelming. The courthouse does have a packet for those who simply just cannot afford an attorney. That packet can actually be purchased for a very affordable rate. I think it's roughly $10. But it is a packet where they just hand it to you, and like I mentioned before, you're expected to know, just as much as an attorney. So it can be overwhelming. And there's different attorneys who can help in uncontested matters. I handle several of those a month, where it's, the parties are just coming and want to make sure it's done correctly, and that can be done very affordably. It's the issues where the parties just can't agree that the sky is blue that is really going to drum up the attorney's costs, because a lot of time and effort is spent arguing over very important issues. Though we're talking about financial stability, where the assets and debt's going to be divided, and then of course children.
All right, and that's definitely something you should consult an attorney with, especially because people do not always agree and get along, especially in those situations.